uh, AI video is here to stay. Um, and I think that we should really start to think about how we can use it um, to drive our business goals in a business setting and our personal goals. If you want to get bigger on social media, how can you use AI to help you um, boost your social media presence, right? Or even in advertising your business, how can you use it to, like, you no longer need a big studio to hire talent. So how can you use AI to boost your company's social presence also?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are and wherever you're watching from. My name is Matt Pierce, host of Visual Lounge, and today we're going to be talking about the thing that is prevalent everywhere, another day, another AI, right? AI is taking over, but it is having a serious impact. It is having an impact on images and videos in particular, which at the Visual Lounge, we are sincerely interested in because it is changing the way we are starting to see image creation, video creation, and even the outputs from like tools that what can they do to help you get faster, get smarter. And now, of course, we've talked about our human framework and how we want to keep humans involved in that and have that kind of oversight. But we've got an expert today who is going to help us understand how this world is changing and maybe some of the things that we can do to maybe live better in it. So let's introduce our guest today, Myra Roldan. Myra is a digital transformation strategist with 20 plus years in technology and 12 years specializing in artificial intelligence. She has trained over 2,500 professionals across AI, cloud, and quantum technologies and led global initiatives at Amazon that reached more than 1,000 employees. Her work spans Fortune 100 and 500 companies, as well as U.S. government entities, including the Army, Navy, and state leadership. Myra's cross-sector impact continues to shape how organizations build AI-ready talent and drive enterprise-wide change. And with that said, please help me welcome Myra to the Visual Lounge. Hey, Myra.
Hey, good day, Matt.
Good day. It's good to have you here. I'm such a fan of you and your work, and it's about time that we had you on the show to talk about this really pressing topic. AI is kind of everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, it's everything and anything people can talk about right these days.
So, okay. So I set us up here a little bit at the beginning that obviously AI is changing a lot of things across a lot of industries, a lot of kind of workflows. Particularly, I'm curious, you've been doing AI for a long time, which is, I was going to ask you about 12 years. That's a long time for AI, considering I think most of us have been doing it for like a year or two.
Yep. Yeah, actually, I've been in the AI space for 12, and so I've been really playing around with video and just media in general, putting out, trying to push the limits to see, what we can create and what are the considerations that we need to have in place right now, and the things that we should be watching for. So, yeah.
So foundationally, then, we've had like someone come on. They talked a little bit about their experience with VO3, and obviously it takes a lot of churn to create something that works well, and you can edit, but you can edit it together. So what's
Yes.
the current landscape then of AI video that we should be aware of? What's maybe front of mind? What's kind of now old passe stuff?
Yeah, so I would say that right now it's getting better, right? Like slowly but surely, you're starting to get um, at least AR, AI avatars or
Hmm.
people in the videos that look like real people, right? Where the lip sync motion is getting better. Um, but there's still limitations, right? Because you're still limited to 8 minutes of video at the most um, with Gemini, right? If you create it using their tool, and then there's Sora, right, which
Hmm.
also has the ability to create these videos. However, I think that there's still a component in here where we still need to get the prompts right to be able to get like the output that we're looking for. And the videos aren't gonna always be consistent when you have to like piece together these little, you know, 8 second it's not 8 minutes. I said 8 minutes. That was wrong. It's 8 seconds, 8 second videos. And you have your character changes,
Hmm.
either they lost their glasses or and so you have to really still have a strategy. You have to have, like, what's your design um, element going to be? Like, how are you storyboarding this, right? Storyboarding is still a step you should not skip. I truly believe in that, and I think that until these tools get better, we really need to be careful because we're entering what's called the watch bait era.
Hmm.
So, have you heard of that? The
I
watch bait era?
no. In fact, I was just going to ask you, what is watch bait era?
Yeah, so watch bait is where AI created short clips are going to start dominating social media feeds. And so we're going to start seeing, and you might already see it, OpenAI's Sora 2 being integrated into like social media platforms and into platforms like Synthesia and other, video generation platforms. And it's really going to signal a shift towards like rapid automation of content, so people are going to start producing this AI content at scale and sharing it on social media. And so now we as viewers have to like be able to disseminate, is it AI or is it not AI, right? Is it misinformation? Is it not misinformation? What's reality, right? I
Yeah.
think that's what we're entering. So clickbait, we all know about clickbait. Now we have to enter watch bait.
Now that's the connection right there. That,
Yeah.
okay. So, obviously it sounds like, it feels like, and I'm out there trying to generate stuff and do stuff and play with it as well. But it feels like we're not there yet. We're on the cusp of, there are good things. I think there are, as you mentioned, I think avatars have come a long way even in the last year. I mean, voice generation, which obviously
Yeah.
is part of the video, has come. If you listen to like 11 Labs, holy cow, amazing kind of just
Yeah.
quality and sounding. Um, so from a practical standpoint, then, if I'm, in a department, L&D or something else at an organization, and I'm hearing, hey, you should be using AI, right? What's the reality here of like what I can really get done? Are we functionally at a point where we can do stuff, or is it really, gosh, if we can wait a little bit longer, we might feel a little bit better about it?
Yeah, so I would say first of all, if you're in L&D in a corporation, in a corporate setting or in a business setting, and you're being told to use AI for like this video generation, you need to make sure that whatever tools you're using are like authorized to be used within your organization. Because I have seen some incidences where people are using tools that are not authorized and they're putting company data into these video platforms and there's no delete button. Once you put that information in there, it's like there, right?
Yep.
Um, and so I think that the first thing would be like, what's the goal? Like, why are we using AI? Why do we want to use AI? Is it a budget thing? Is it a speed thing? Do they think it's going to be better quality than a person? Like, why are we using it, right? And then if you do have an approved platform, what's your strategy for using it, right? And how are you going to track the ROI on it to be able to say, oh, this was better and faster, or maybe it wasn't better, but it was faster.
Mm-hmm.
It's that cheap, fast, good paradigm, where you can only have it if it's cheap, it won't be fast, right?
Yep.
And it won't be like you can't have cheap and fast and have it be good. If it's cheap and good, it won't be fast, kind of deal. Um, so you need to be able to weigh that out. And then there's the ethical part of it too, right? Like with these platforms, like I said, there's no delete button. So are you infringing on someone's likeness,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you just have to watch out for that.
Yeah, so it does sound like, and actually, I just went through our AI. We had an AI training that we had to go through, and I thought about you the whole time because we've had, you and I know have had conversations about these things, right?
Yes.
About that we have to have those things in place before we're doing it. So let's say we're in our organization, we do have those in place. We've got our safeguards. We know not to put our personal identifying
Hmm.
information of our customers or anything else into the platform. Um, it is kind of that practical thing. I love the triangle's perfect for this because I do think I can get fast. but it's maybe not good. And I can get good, but I've spent a long time on it, but it wasn't cheap to maybe pay for the extra
Yeah.
models or whatever. Um, so are there other things like are there practical things we could be doing that allows us to get better outcome? It's not, I know you're playing with a lot of different tools, and are there things that you're
Hmm.
seeing that like have changed, whether it's that maybe thinking about prompts, or is there structurally things, are you feeding it models of like I say models like imagery, which again ethically you got to get on that, make sure it's not some model that didn't agree to it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so, when it comes to like image creation, so like I've authored some books and I've created images using AI. And one of the things that it struggles with is this idea of consistency, right? Like image consistency, whether it's video or images. Um, and so I've had some luck with um, ChatGPT on image consistency, where I have fed it and you created an image and then fed it that same image and said, just put this image in different poses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that I can do with using ChatGPT. I always use illustrations. I never use like real people. And then for video, that's been a little bit more of a struggle, because I have been putting out this series of Abuela and Tech and AI where she explains different AI concepts in like 8 seconds, which is a feat, right?
Mm-hmm. That's
um,
awesome.
but I haven't been able to get a consistent character. She's close, right, with every video, but she's not consistent. And so I would say you need to be okay with that. So you need to, when you're developing like your content strategy, your video strategy, your image strategy, you need to put a threshold for like how much of a difference is okay. Most people don't notice. They'll let it fly, right? Um, but also like being careful about using these avatars to represent like an entire community that you're presenting
Mm.
to. Right? That can be tricky, and avoiding, like, trying to avoid stereotypes, trying to avoid, misrepresentation of groups. We run into some, like, tricky areas where we have to be careful, and so I would say when you are, um, planning to use these AI platforms for either image or video creation, um, make sure that one, your prompts are strong. So that's going to be the first thing. You want your prompts to have a good foundation of what you are trying to do. So you know, when you're using these tools, your prompts, you might notice that if you try to put in a prompt that's too long, you're not going to get the best output because it's not going to know how to process your prompt
Mm.
correctly, and you might end up with garbage. Um, and, if you use a tool, for example, and just give you like Google Flow, where you can then go in and create videos, right, using the Google tool, um, what you'll find is that it will only take a certain amount of characters for you to be able to effectively generate a video. And so, like, if you want it to have a script, that script has to be super short.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can, and you should define your character um, down to like the T. How, like, if you were to describe a person as far as look, what they're wearing, what their hair looks like, what their eyes look like, what are they doing, what setting are they in, right? That's the most important part. But that script has to be like super tight, and so that's a consideration that you have to have when you're designing, because 8 seconds is not a long time.
No, it is not a long time, and it's interesting just because. I'm hearing what you're saying. Obviously, there's a lot of consideration to put into this, right? Because you got
Mhm.
to be thoughtful about not only with what that person looks like, which it is a challenge to describe a person. I find, right, to get
Yeah.
the kind of details, because you inadvertently could describe it one way and you end up with something that you didn't want. And but that also goes to, like, if you're trying to represent someone in a particular community, are you giving that a proper kind of description and not making sure it's stereotypical
Mhm.
and all those things. So I love the considerations, though, because I do think this is a challenge. We're in this phase where I hope it all gets easier, but it's not right now, right? Like it is. I'm finding that AI is a good partner for a lot of things. It's
Yes.
particularly text. I find it's a good thought partner. As help me think about questions maybe I'm not wouldn't have thought about. From a media creation, there are things I feel pretty consistent about. Again, voices, avatars, pretty consistent.
Mhm.
I can get some pretty good images depending on what kind of information I provide, but there's a lot of stuff I'm also like I'm throwing out a lot. I feel like I'm doing stuff, throwing out. It's a lot of still
Mhm.
iterative testing versus like I get one prompt and I've nailed it.
Yeah, and I think that's something that people have to be okay with right now is that you're gonna generate a lot of things that you won't be able to use, right? And there's a cost to generating video and images, right? When you use any of these platforms. So one of my favorite platforms to generate images is Ideogram. And so with Ideogram, though, you get capped even when you pay, there's a cap. So, like, if you don't get it right, like, the first few times, it'll say, like, you're done," right? Come
Yep.
back. Um, and so that can be frustrating, right? Because it's we have to hone in our ability to take what's in our head because we always can picture, like, "This is the specific thing I want," right? "This is what I want." But then we go to write a prompt on it, and it's garbage,
Yep.
right? Or it gets misinterpreted by the AI.
Yeah, I've heard a couple times the analogy. One is more funny. Mike Parkinson. I don't know if you know Mike. He calls it the drunk intern. But I've heard the intern analogy, right? Like I work with actual human interns, and they're brilliant and they have their own skills, but it is often they are without context of a career
Mhm.
at an organization that has of someone who's been there a long time. And so I often find I
Yep.
have to be much more descriptive to an intern because they just, they might not know what Outlook is, right? And that's not because they're not capable of
Yeah.
knowing what Outlook is. They just haven't experienced Outlook. And so I do appreciate that sentiment, right? Like you gotta
Yeah.
be willing to express more. With
Yeah, and it's hard, right?
Yeah. Without expressing too much is what I wanted to say. Like, because too much and then it gets confused because you've added too many details. And now it's like, I'm
Yeah.
overwhelmed. Just like an intern. I've said too much.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you gave me way too much information, now I don't know what to do with it. S
Yes. So Myra, as you are often on like the cutting edge, you are always looking at. I know from knowing you for a while now that you're always looking ahead at kind of what's next. And I'm guessing that gives you some pretty good vision to look ahead here. And short term, where do you think we're going in terms of AI images and videos in the next, let's say, I know it's hard to predict. I'm not asking you to necessarily put a
Yeah.
flag in the sand, but like 6 months, a year, what do we think will be true that's not true today?
Um, I think that, we're gonna move from, like, this experimentation phase into everyday use, right? So more people are gonna start to use it for different purposes. We'll see an increase of use for social media. I don't know if we're gonna see an increased use of AI in corporate just yet because I think we're still feeling it out, right? So corporate usually lags behind a little bit. Um, but we will start to see um, consumer apps start to make its way into the business setting. And I think what we need to um, really watch out for is whether it's in the corporate setting or not, is we're gonna see an increase in synthetic media that's amplifying misinformation, wrong
Mm,
information, or emphasizing, the need for stronger provenance and, like, digital literacy standards across the board. Um, because anyone can create an AI video right now, right?
Yeah.
And you have, um, I think it's having guardrails around how we create, and what those tools look like and how they evolve into like the tools that we use every day. So I think we'll see some video generation in Copilot. We might see some video generation integrated into other platforms that we use in business, and we may start seeing the ability through middlemen like a Zapier, uh, or through APIs, application interfaces, um, to these like commercial consumer products to generate video.
Mm.
And, there's still going to be a need to be able to edit those videos to make them make sense. And so I think we need to get good at our video editing skills, so we can start cutting out like the bad stuff. So instead of throwing the clips away, right? Keeping what we can use and figuring out, like, how do we splice this together so it doesn't look bad?
Yeah.
So
Well, if you need a tool, I've got one.
oh, I use it every day.
Well, thank you. Well, I think I see what you're saying too, right? That social media, obviously, there's lots of things that are happening, and it's happening fast, and it usually is a precursor to coming into the workplace, right? We saw this with, gosh, I'm going to date myself, but social media, Twitter became like Yammer, right?
Yeah.
Twitter was
Yeah.
happening, and then Yammer came out, and then Microsoft bought Yammer and brought it in. Now, I think Yammer might be dead at this point, but
Mhm.
it's a thing. And so I definitely see that. I have a prediction that, and this is what I hope to be true. Whether it is true or not, I don't know, because I'm not very good at predicting things. But the ability to have more and more control in the what the AI generates, I think, is going to be really important to people. And so, uh, you know, giving maybe more finite control over backgrounds, characters, like letting it layer things rather than just kind of whole. Right now, it's just a wholesale. I prompt it. If I'm good at describing things, I might get what I want. If not, it puts in a different scene or different
Yeah.
whatever.
I think that's gonna be tricky because we're working with generative AI,
Hmm.
and the whole point of generative AI is that it generates new content based on historical data. So it's making new content every single time. And so it's not persistent, meaning it doesn't, I think what we need is more persistence and character consistency. So like if I create a character, I want it to be persistent. I want it to look and feel the same no matter where I put it. I would love to have the ability to have character consistency where the background is transparent and I can dump that character anywhere, right?
Yeah.
That'd be a beauty, right? To be able to do that.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, I think the reality is images have gotten not perfect, but it's better.
Mhm.
And so I imagine it seems video is lagging about a year to year and a half, kind of where behind
Yeah.
where images were.
I
So
mean, we're getting to the point where our, images now no longer have 6 fingers or 20 fingers, right? So, like, that's a good thing.
Yep, but it still generates some weird images occasionally, depending on what you prompt. It's so
Yeah, 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 but it's getting better, right? And it's gonna get better over time.
yeah, it's the worst it
So,
will ever be. So, well, Myra, this has been. I love the take on it. I love the thoughts about ethics. I love the thinking about like how we can apply video today. Obviously, it's not a one and done. There's work that needs to be done. And that's the good news for us as humans who still want to do jobs and still want to work. Right? There's lots of
yeah.
room for us to be involved. But I do want to move us along here into our speed round, which are quick, fast questions with hopefully quick, fast answers determined by the
Okay.
roll of a die. So here we go. Okay, so here is our dice tower. We have a die to tell us which questions to ask. Myra, here we go. The first roll is number 12. So, question number 12. Ooh, what's your one go to tool that helps you get your job done on a regular basis? And when I say tool, it could be software, physical gear, whatever, something that you use often to help you get your job done.
Yeah, I would say my phone.
I love it.
Yeah, my smartphone because sometimes I'm not near my laptop and I need to pull information up or I need to get to my files and my smartphone is connected to like all my external drives so I can just pull a file up and send it. Like I can run my business off of my smartphone.
Yes, well, and we know how people feel when they get detached from their smartphone, and
Yeah.
it feels a little bit, whoa, what's going on? So love
Yeah.
it. Well, are you ready for your next question?
Yeah, let's
Okay,
do it.
here we go. Question number two. Oh, we can't have two 12s. I'm rolling really consistently. All right, the dot is at the bottom, so that is actually going to be a 9. So question number
Okay.
9 here. What's the one thing that you're most proud of in your career?
I would say the thing that I'm most proud of has to be the people that I have been able to interact with and who I've had an impact on and who come back and share their like the things they've done with, you know, either the consultation or mentorship that I gave them. I have so many people that I engage with and meet on a regular basis that it just it makes me feel good that I'm able to share the knowledge, help others grow, and I love cheering on for everyone. Like, if you're going after a goal and I've helped you in some way, or I gave you an introduction, or I gave you some information, or you went through training, or whatever it is, right? You come back and you tell me like, hey, like this went great, or this. I love that. I also love when they come back to me and they're struggling, right? And they're like, I still need help getting there. So I'm always happy that I can help.
Well,
That's
I
what I'm
know when I
proudest of.
want someone in my corner, you're one of the people I want there cheering for sure. So
Thanks, Matt.
you bet.
I've
Okay,
been cheering you on for a long time.
I know and I appreciate it. So we got one more question here. Here we go.
Okay.
Question number 10. Ooh, okay, this one's interesting. If you had to shift careers, they said no more of what you're doing today, no more AI business, no more what you're doing, and you could do anything that you wanted, out of the world of AI. What would you do? What was the thing that you would move to?
I would be um a travel advisor. Like I love traveling, so I would want to like a travel influencer almost, but not an influencer, but like helping people like figure out their travel. I want to go to the hotels and see which hotels are good. I want to go to different countries and then be able to create like travel experiences for people. I think that would be fun. I get to
That
travel and I get to help people have a good trip.
Yeah, well, I'll have to ask you next time. Hey, Myra, what should I do on my next? Actually, you know what? You
Yeah.
can help me out when we're at DevLearn. I'll be Myra. What should I go do? DevLearn. That's what I'll do. That's all I have time for. It's a conference.
Yep. I'll tell you, you should go do your session,
That's
Matt.
right. That's right. You go do your session. I love it. Well, Myra, I always enjoy talking to you. It's always so much fun and always so insightful. I feel like I learn so much from you. If people want to connect with you, they want to learn more from you, where should they go? Where should they turn?
Yeah, so connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm under Myra Roldan. I'm pretty easy to find. If you look for Matt, you can find me also under Matt's profile. Um, my website, so I UnDesto AI, but we have an intelligence suite, which I think is more useful than my website. So it's intelligence.undesto AI. We have resources in our intelligence suite to help whether it's regular users or businesses figure out how to get started with AI and integrating it because personal and business use of AI are two different things. Um, yes, that's where the two places I would say Intelligence Suite and LinkedIn. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I love connecting with people. I look at my feed every morning to see what everyone's up to. So I like to doom scroll on LinkedIn and see what everyone's doing before I start doom scrolling on TikTok.
Which you can also find you over there, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok under Learn with Myra. Yeah, and I'm on Instagram under Learn with Myra also. And I
Perfect.
post, educational content.
Hey, it's
So,
good stuff. So, well, Myra, as we wrap up the show, we always like to ask our guest, what is your final take?
yeah, my final take is uh, AI videos here to stay. Um, and I think that we should really start to think about how we can use it to drive our business goals in a business setting and our personal goals. If you want to get bigger on social media, how can you use AI to help you um, boost your social media presence, right? Or even in advertising your business, how can you use it to, like, you no longer need a big studio to hire talent. So how can you use AI to boost your company's social presence also?
All right. Well,
That's it.
Myra,
Mhm.
thank you so much for joining me here in the Visual Lounge.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, Matt. This was fun.
You bet. So, all right, everybody, real quick as we wrap things up. Look, AI, we know it's here. We keep talking about it. We're going to keep talking about it because it is so prevalent in the things that we're doing with images and video. If you're looking for some AI, you want to dive in a little bit, you want to try something, I go recommend, lots of tools out there. Go give Camtasia.ai a try. It's free. It's a labs, so it's beta, but it's got some really cool stuff. You upload some images and watch it create a video from images. And the cool thing is you can take it into Camtasia and you can manipulate and change and move things around. So give it a chance. Go try it out. We got some other great things that we've been working on that we announced at our October event if you didn't get to see that. But with that said, there's so much going on, so much change. You got to make sure that you're staying up on top of these things and all the things that will help you feel like able to do the job that you need to do. So I encourage you, take a little time and to spend and level up for yourself. We'll see you next time, everybody.